Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yay.
That's it.
Oh, man.
Oh, baby. I'll tell you. David Difference?
I had one job, man. That's to start the live stream, and I didn't even do it on time.
Failure.
Oh,
my God.
Why are you so well lit? And I'm over here in the dark cave, man.
I don't know.
That's disrespectful, Mark.
You got the same lights I do.
I don't know. Maybe I got to sit back or something.
I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You know, it's
good
all
morning.
good.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Blessed to be here.
Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. I am the aforementioned Mark Hoke, doing my thing. We're going to bring it all to you today. We got a terrific show lined up. David Difference.
Oh, what a difference a day makes.
Dave, you got to tilt your camera down. We're live streaming.
I don't know what's happening with this.
I don't know. You're all over the place.
Messed everything up in here.
There you go. Now you're looking good.
Hey.
Nice.
Hey, Twitter world.
What's going on? And we also have sitting in today my esteemed, well, actually, I guess technically because I have to be listed as producer Mark Hoke on that one. And my phone's going off, and I do apologize.
Jeez, I'm professional.
I know. Jose Volonte.
Yo. Good morning.
Doing the thing on Sports X Radio on Monday. And
see, normally you have to keep me in line on Monday nights, and it looks like we have to keep you in line today because you forgot to put your phone on mute. You're a producer. Come on, man.
I failed.
It's okay.
I failed. It's okay.
Strike one, right, Dave?
Because everybody is, we're so
today,
popular.
yeah.
The phone's just blowing up. What am I going to do?
Yeah, let's.
That's true. When you're popular, I get it. I guess.
Yeah. It happens, but it's okay. But Jose's sitting in with us, and we got a great guest today. I cannot wait for this one. The Fightful invasion of the Mark Hoke Show continues. Joel Pearl is going to be joining us from Fightful.com. So looking forward to having Joel on the show.
Oh, man.
I get to be in the weeds on the Fightful Overbooked channel a few weeks ago with him and Jeremy Lambert. And now we're going to put Joel on the spot. He's Canadian, by the way. We get to give him crap about that.
Why would we give him crap? That's a beautiful nation.
It's okay. But, still, it's Canada.
Oh, don't get Mark started with countries.
Yeah. Well, don't get him started with a lot of things. Countries, Bud Light.
Ooh, oh, my God. Mark, yeah. I saw that one.
Hey, he's out of control.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And I did my homework on that whole situation. It's whatever, man.
$30 billion, baby, down the tubes.
They'll be all right.
Did you see, by the way, I don't know if you saw, we were talking about that because WWE did a sponsorship with Bud Light for Money in the Bank, and they fell out of the top 10 of beers sold in the United States last week. That's crazy.
You know what's interesting is after we had that conversation last week, I'm driving and I see somebody coming out of Albertsons with 2 big 24 packs, and I try to take a picture and just send it to you. It's still popping, man. It's still happening. They still love it.
Yeah, well, pretty interesting stuff there. But yeah, check that out on our YouTube channel. We got a nice little clip about that. But yeah, great show today. The Bloodline craziness continues as Jey Uso standing alone this week after Jimmy got beat up. Grayson Waller gets his debut this week on SmackDown, and boy, was it a good one. We've got MJF and Adam Cole torturing each other. They're having a great time on AEW. A lot going on, fellas. Very busy. Very busy.
So much, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to find a good place to start. But I guess, let's we'll talk about the Bloodline a little bit here before because I have a topic later on for hour number 2 that I kind of want to lead into with it. But I want to ask Jose something here on this because Jose, you're one of those guys, right, that disappeared from watching pro wrestling for a long time. I mean, David, how many times do you and I hear that? Now, I watched WWE during the Attitude Era and then kind of faded off and stopped watching it. How many times do you hear that, Dave?
73 times per quarter.
Exact number.
It's a lot. Now I know you watched SmackDown
Mhm.
for probably the first time in a while this week.
Oh yeah, and I'm not disappointed that I did. I'm very excited and happy that I did.
What'd you think?
I like it. If I'm being honest with you, for me stepping away for a while from the wrestling and watching it and all, it hasn't changed. I mean, it's still exciting. And my wife is sitting there trying to be negative about it, and I'm like, babe, this is entertainment. You tell me you can jump off that top rope and do what these guys are doing, and tell me it's fake, then we'll talk. If I don't see you jumping off that top rope, I don't want to hear it.
Did she drop that bomb on you?
She sure did. And to me,
You're
I'm sorry.
kidding me.
Wrestling is not fake. I don't care what you say. 100%. If you watch what I watched this past week, as many times as I watched it, there is nothing fake about it. Wrestling is 100% real. They get hit, they get hurt, and I love it. And this whole thing with the bloodline that you guys are talking about, because I know David mentioned it earlier before we got into the studio as well. It's a beautiful storyline. I got to obviously get backtracked and learn a lot more of what's going on leading up to this, but I'm excited to see what it's going to lead up to after this and what happened at Money in the Bank and then on SmackDown this past Friday.
You sounds excited, man.
I am. I'm ready to go, man. I can't wait.
I like that, man.
Yeah, because this story has been going on for over 3 years now. I mean, this is going to probably, if it culminates at WrestleMania, we're talking a 4-year storyline on this, David. 4 years.
Yeah, it's an epic saga, man. The best thing going.
Yeah, and of course, what happened this week on SmackDown, they did a tribal court where the boys put Roman on trial.
Yeah.
Roman's at least got a career in soap operas for sure. At least at men soap operas.
What'd you say?
He'll be able to do soap operas.
Okay.
Because he can pull the tears, man.
It looked like he was fighting to get that tear out there, man. I watched it a few times, but yeah, he pulled it off.
Yeah, so of course, so what ended up happening was all the the Usos are putting Roman on trial and showing videos of what a jerk he's been over the years to them, and making him feel terrible. And Roman gets all upset and he takes off his tribal chief lei and gives it to Jay, and gets down on one knee, puts the whatever belt that is, the super gold. What, I don't know. We got to come up with a fun name for that.
Super gold sounds good.
We'll put the super gold belt on the floor, and gets down on one knee, and he's bawling his eyes out and feels terrible, and it's like, Jay, you're going to be the tribal chief, and then just wham to the huevos rancheros as soon as Jay leans over. Beautiful shot, by the way. I give him a 9.5 on that one.
Yeah, it was an excellent shot, right on point.
Yeah.
Good velocity.
Yeah, I mean, just
good velocity.
For huevos rancheros shots, it was pretty high quality.
Huevos rancheros, yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that's pretty cool too, though, that I noticed, at least again, I'm getting into this and I'm watching, is how the crowd was singing the entrance noise and the entrance song for the Usos in London, but yet it continued, you know what I mean, leaking into SmackDown, which is something that you want to see, obviously, because now the crowd is shifting, right? That's what it looks like, at least. That, yeah, obviously Roman Reigns is the guy, but what is the crowd going to start doing, and who are they going to start backing a lot more? Now, obviously, you want to see that controversy, and you said it, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the lead up, the WWE knows how to create these scenarios for sure.
Yeah.
Amen.
But we're going to talk about them ruining them a little bit, just a tad later on today. But right now, so now Jay so of course they beat Jimmy up. Jimmy ended up in the hospital. Jay comes back, and Jay is challenging Roman Reigns, beats him down again. Everybody's going crazy, and he's holding up the super gold in the ring and says, I want you, big man. So what do you think, David? It looks like we're headed for SummerSlam with getting that Jey Uso match. I'm a little surprised they're doing it so quick, but it looks like that may happen. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not official, but maybe.
Right. It looks like it's leading there. I mean, because they just had the tag team match, right? So, but I do think that, you got to get that out the way so we can get to the other feuds. Because I can't see Jay rocking that super gold.
You can?
I can't see him beating Roman Reigns and taking it to the next level. I don't think it adds to the story there.
With that many belts being there, though, that's one thing that I was talking to Mark about yesterday. Because again, I'm starting to learn all these belts, and I'm sitting there going, "This is not what I'm used to. What I'm used to seeing. It's a little bit ridiculous." But you don't see him contending at all, or actually being the guy, huh?
I don't. Well, I mean, for the storyline, I don't know. Like, it's got to be something epic to take the title off of Reigns.
Definitely.
Epic. And I don't know if he carries it. Like, where does the story goes once he has the belt? Then they just feud for a little bit. I think that we're still looking or not looking at Cody Rhodes next WrestleMania, which is they talk about being the plan. That's got to be the big. We finally beat Roman Reigns for the belt, in my opinion.
So do you think this kind of gets squashed? It's just it's good. It's good right now because of what's going on, but eventually it's going to lead to another storyline somewhere else.
I love it because it's not like a blood feud.
Gotcha.
I mean, it is a blood feud, but it's not where they hate each other. They
Correct.
realize we're family. Family fights, and we see it all the time. Like I used to fight with my brothers, but they're still your brothers.
Yeah.
So let's get it out of our systems and then move on. I'm sure there's a higher arc that's coming. That's my opinion.
Well, and then you bring him Cody Rhodes too. And one thing that we really didn't mention on last week's show was at the press conference they asked Cody about the heavyweight, the lineal WWE World Championship, not Seth's gold belt that they made up, but which is the black belt that Roman has. And he said, that's the one I want. He said, that's the one that finishes the story. But if you don't know that, way back when Dusty was wrestling in WWE, he had a match where he won by disqualification and was holding up the WWE champion, be the WWF championship at the time, but never won it. So he wants to win that championship. So how do we get that singular belt now that we have 3 belts with Roman? How do we get Cody to the 1 belt? I mean, this.
How does that storyline work out though? Because like Dave just said, he doesn't see Jay doing that. Roman Reigns probably still the guy. The storyline is there, but then you also have a new storyline now with Cody Rhodes, right? With Brock Lesnar and everything that happened the last couple of days. So it makes you wonder, where are you going to go from there?
Right. Yeah, I think that's just a filler feud to build him. I mean, you beat the monster, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm over Brock. I'm over Brock. I love Brock, but like it's like too much the way they use him. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Not one bit, Mark.
Well, you want to tell him that?
Yeah, tell him to his face.
I'd like to see that.
Let's bring him in studio.
Yeah, bring him in. Bring him in. Let's get him in.
God, I would love to see you take an F5.
Why would you like to see me take an F5 in the parking lot?
You keep trying to get me into finishers all the time.
So this is my fault?
I'm just saying.
We have a toxic culture here at the Mark Hoke Show, man.
Is this what I walked into, guys?
Yeah,
Come on.
Sorry
now.
about this, man.
Hey, Derek, we might have to roll out, man.
Yeah, you got the kid in here. It ain't right, Mark. Let's start over. Every week is like 20 minutes in. Let's start over, man.
Whose finish do you want to take?
That's a great question. Okay.
It would have to maybe Charlotte's.
The figure 8?
Yeah, sure.
I know why.
right.
That's terrible. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't let's get our break in, because, of course, coming up next segment here, we've got a terrific guest coming on. Joel Pearl from Fightful.com is going to be joining us. So we're looking forward to having him on the show with us. I'm Mark Hoke, David Difference, Jose Volonte sitting as well today, having a great time with the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on 101.5 FM, KDAWN, the Talk of Las Vegas, Odyssey app worldwide, streaming on YouTube and Twitch too. We're everywhere, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will see you on the other side with Joel Pearl. The Mark Hoke Show is proud to announce our partnership with pro wrestling's premier charity, the Cauliflower Alley Club. For nearly 60 years, the CAC has stood strong, assisting members of the wrestling industry in their times of need. Please join us in supporting the Cauliflower Alley Club by becoming a member for just $25 a year, or make an individual donation today. Go to caulifloweralleyclub.org and give back to the people that have brought us so much entertainment and joy in pro wrestling. Once again, that's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
Hi, this is Pat from Finding Common Ground. We have a new time that's live from 3 to 5 on KDAWN, where Dean and I will discuss all the issues that matter. That's Saturdays from 3 to 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN, or always live on the Odyssey app.
There is no known safe amount of marijuana use during pregnancy. Marijuana is not safe for pregnant or breastfeeding women and their babies. Everything a mother eats, drinks, or smokes affects her developing baby or enters her breast milk. Just like alcohol and tobacco, using marijuana can have negative effects for your baby. Any form of marijuana may be harmful during pregnancy and while breastfeeding. Marijuana can affect your ability to care for your baby or someone else's baby. It is best for women to quit using while pregnant and breastfeeding. If you are pregnant or a new mother using marijuana, you are urged to seek help to quit. Pregnant women receive priority admission at state-funded treatment centers. Visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org. That's SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211. This message sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
My son stopped talking to me. He didn't want to leave his room.
I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I just wanted to be alone.
I was really worried about my daughter. She was angry all the time.
I felt so depressed.
I was really worried about my daughter.
I couldn't do anything right. I was always getting yelled at.
My son told me he wanted to hurt himself. I was so scared.
I was feeling hopeless. It was all too much.
We needed help.
We needed help.
We needed help.
We needed help.
I needed help.
I called the Mobile Crisis Response Team, and we met with them that same day.
A crisis team came to my house and helped me talk to my parents about how I was feeling.
I called the Mobile Crisis Response Team. They met with us that day.
I talked to them about how I was feeling, and it really helped.
Sometimes understanding what children are experiencing can be difficult. The Nevada Children's Mobile Crisis Response Team provides mental health intervention and support. Learn more at nocrisis.com. This message sponsored by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Youth and young adult, education, employment, behavioral and mental health. Find resources for youth in your community. Free and confidential help is here 24/7. Download the Youth app for yourself, a friend, or your family. Text your zip code to 898-211. Call 211, visit nevada211.org, or chat with a specialist on our website. Get connected. Get help.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Infinite Wellness can help you achieve your goals and look and feel your best. Our regenerative medicine clinic utilizes stem cell and exome therapy. We also have a comprehensive weight loss program and numerous other services you can find on our website at infinitewellness.info. We're located at 8925 West Post Road, Suite 100, right across from IKEA. You can book your appointment today by calling us at 702-842-2244 or find us on social media at infinitewellness.lv. We'd love to be a part of your journey.
101.5 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
I can't hear you guys at all suddenly. Everything dropped and I hear nothing. So that's fun for me.
Mark
Yeah,
messing
there we
up.
go.
Mark messing up over there.
Now
There
can
we
you
go.
hear
That
us?
should help.
How y'all doing?
Doing all right. Sorry.
What's going on, Joe?
Yeah, you might get a little blank on the live stream there for a minute, guys. Sorry, we're still getting we're synced in through the board on here, so I'm having to do some extra stuff.
David,
It's a
I think
little
we
more
have
work.
enough ammunition now to go at Mark, so I think we're good.
Oh, stop it!
Come on,
We're just adding it up, Mark.
Pull it together. How you doing, Joe?
Doing great. I just assumed y'all were burying me before you brought me on. You didn't want me here.
No, we were saying
Mark
great
was,
stuff
yeah.
about you.
Mark
Stop
was.
it!
I don't believe
Stop it, Joel. How are things going up there, buddy?
Things are great here in Toronto, Canada. It's about 11:30 a.m. So I'm awake, more awake than maybe y'all are, but things are great. Yeah, how are y'all doing?
We're conscious. That's what we do in Las Vegas. It never stops.
Yeah, magical, man.
Breathing.
We was out at Chica's last night. Me and Mark. Chica's Bonitas.
I was not there, babe. You know I was on the couch watching movies with you last night, so don't let me get in trouble with these guys.
Unbelievable. This is what I got to put up with, Joel.
Hey, listen, I've got Jeremy Lambert 3 days a week. I've got Kate once a week. Listen, if I don't have people talking this kind of ish, then I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God. Well, Joel, we were talking about the bloodline leading in here, and the newest chapter looks like Jay is going to be coming after Roman. What are your thoughts on this as this story progresses?
They have found the right time to introduce a whole new chapter to the story in Solo Sikoa, of all people. This is the best part about the bloodline. I was saying this on other shows I do, that the bloodline story is an insular story. Everyone else who's come in to challenge for Roman's title is just an external factor. It's always been Jimmy, Jay, specifically Jay, versus Roman, and then they introduce Solo, and Solo adds another chapter, another peel to this onion. And I love it because it keeps the story fresh. And yeah, we're going to do Jay and Roman again, but we haven't done that in front of a live crowd. So let's get that out of the way, and then possibly Jimmy down the line. There are still layers to peel back. We've still got Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's a giant, piece of the story and piece of trash, if you ask the Usos. So there's some good stuff coming in. I like where it's going. We're in the probably the top of the fourth, maybe the bottom of the fourth if you're Roman Reigns at a press conference after WrestleMania.
Wow, only the top of the fourth. I was thinking we're kind of more in the sixth or seventh, but yeah, it's got to end soon, doesn't it? They can't milk this thing forever.
If they can take it to WrestleMania 40 in Philly, I think we're in a good spot. I think we're starting to set people up to be okay with the fact that Roman is not defending that title at every single PLE. He's not defending it on every single SmackDown, but instead you're getting main event storylines coming out of it. Yeah, the title's important, and they continue to make the title important without him needing to be defending it right away. So it works.
We're fighting in here about who should be the one to take the belt off Roman. Should it be Jay? Should it be Cody? And Joel, what are you thinking about that? I mean, who's the better choice?
Who was fighting? We weren't fighting.
Well,
we were discussing, having a gentleman discussion.
We'll call it a fight. It sounds better. It sounds better.
All right.
So y'all were just throwing down over who should beat Roman. I get it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's like Twitter. Everyone's just fighting over nothing.
Right,
Everyone's
right.
fighting over something they can't control. For me, it's Cody's story. It is, and again, I know I just talked about the external factors of challengers, but Jey Uso got his win. He got his separation from the guy who was, for all intents and purposes, abusing him for the last 3 years. He has gotten that reward. Now he's going to walk into SummerSlam and potentially be a renewed man who may not win, but gets a lot of respect out of it. You could pull the trigger. You could absolutely have Jey Uso walk out as champion, but I don't think that they are in that position just yet to tell the story of what next. And I do think that Cody he said it during his promos leading up to WrestleMania 39 this year in LA. He said, you'll be basically a king without a castle, a Roman without a reigns, and the bloodline's going to fall around you, and then I'm going to take the title. Well, we're in the process of doing that. And that's, again, for all the times that we go back and talk about other stories in other companies and talk about this thing happened on social media and this thing happened in a promo, we're going to be doing that with this storyline as well. And that's probably one of the better parts of this long arc of the bloodline.
Very good point. I wanted to ask you, you were up at Forbidden Door, and I wanted to get your feel about the atmosphere of what that was like for us. I know we were at Double or Nothing, and there was the controversy about whether people thought the crowd was into it or not. I don't think we had any issues at Forbidden Door for sure, but give us an idea about your experience up there with being at that pay-per-view and doing the scrum, the whole thing.
Yeah, so Kate and I went as accredited media. We had a very busy Sunday. So I will preface it with I was up at 7 a.m. I was out with my kid. I've got a 15-month-old kid, and we were up and doing stuff until Kate and I had to go do a show we had to cover at 11 a.m. So we were doing that. Then we had a show that we had to do in a studio for a couple hours. And then we went to the show. We went to Forbidden Door. I was getting tired because I'm an old man, but the show itself was great. I mean, the energy was palpable. Everyone in that arena was into it. Kate turns to me at the main event and she says, "Did you notice how everyone's kind of quiet for the Danielson and Okada beginning? They're showing reverence." And I said, "Kate, it's 11:45 in the evening. People are tired." People were actually into it. They were enjoying the show. I got into it as tired as I was getting. But the show was it was special. And you could see that it was special. And people had fun because this Forbidden Door show was a really good mix. I'd argue better than last year in terms of storytelling with matches being set up and some dream matches that Forbidden Door would bring you. Danielson and Okada didn't need like this ridiculous build. They just needed two guys being like, "I'm the best in the world. You're the best in the world. Let's find out who's the best in the world for real." And then you had Kenny and Will Ospreay, and those two already had a story going into it, and they continued to tell that story. I don't need to tell everyone, or defend what was going on with the booking, but in my opinion, there was enough going on that people felt comfortable, confident, and excited to be in that building, and that's what we got. And then they did a press conference, and that went until 2:30 in the morning Eastern, and I was exhausted more so.
Those press conferences are Dave. You and I got to go through our first one.
I was like, when is, as much as you love being there, you're like, okay, when is this over? Right? It was a little much.
It was a little much, but those press conferences, and it's funny that I saw a whole lot of comments because I was checking it out after I got flamed and looking around and seeing what everybody was saying about those scrums. And it's kind of a really a difficult spot for people when you're asking questions, except like when you're asking Tony, there you're kind of in reality, but it's very awkward because you're asking questions that you're kind of coming in between reality and fiction. And then people say, well, these press conferences are worthless. These guys aren't journalists. What are your thoughts on handling those press conferences like that? Because it is rough.
So, Mark, I think when you were in the weeds on Overbooked, we talked about this. And the way I put it was it's a kayfabe vortex. You are in there trying to get real answers out of performers, and some are performing and some are not. Peek behind the curtain, we were told in the room by someone who worked in AEW that, get ready, Will Ospreay's his press conference is going to be something else. He's going to be fired up. It wasn't exactly what we got. We got a very raw and honest Will Ospreay who was willing to answer just about every single question pitched at him. But we were told, like, you're going to get an in-character Will Ospreay. Nope, we didn't. And then we had Toni Storm, who, by the way, I think she does these masterfully because she gets in, she gets out, and she just does her character. And you know what you're getting out of her. And that's where it's okay if you're a reporter who's talking about whatever, just trying to get some sort of article, some sort of info. You can ask that kind of question to her, and yeah, she'll have fun with it. So it is how you navigate the waters, understanding what wrestlers coming in with what demeanor. Bryan Danielson, very open, very honest. Tony Khan, he'll pitch you on everything before he actually answers the question. And that's no shade of Tony Khan. I felt like I really got the only straight non-publicity answer out of him when I asked him about Final Countdown and how the rights fees came about on that. And he gave a very honest and very full answer, and I didn't have to push back too hard. And that's something that I hope more people who are in that room get to do. And that is push back when they want a little bit more than what you're getting out of those press conferences.
Yeah, David enjoyed it.
Yeah, Mark got roasted. See, you asking the right questions.
I like how he does that. Mark got roasted, but yes, you did ask the right question.
That's the viral moment we got to take away.
The
like, yeah, you asked a great question. I like the Final Countdown. That was you, huh?
Yeah, that was me because when they walked into the room, when Danielson walked into the room, someone kind of alluded to it, and then nobody followed up on it. And so when it was just Tony alone, kind of turned to Kate. I'm like, did anyone ask about Final Countdown and the rights? And she said, I don't think so. So I just wrote out a question and I was like, okay, here we go. And yeah, that was me.
Yeah, respected journalist, not getting roasted by Mark. You embarrassed us, Mark.
Stop it.
John, I got a question for you. So is that something that you're doing? Because you kind of mentioned how some things don't get asked or don't get asked a certain way, right? Or you got to push a little more. Is that something that you make like a priority for yourself when you see other journalists that are there doing the WWE or any type of wrestling coverage to maybe ask the type of questions that no one else is trying to ask?
I try to ask different questions. It also depends where I am. If I'm at a media scrum, so I was at Elimination Chamber in Montreal for WWE, and I had a chance to speak to a lot of different stars. I spoke to Natalia. I spoke to Austin Theory. I spoke to Bronson Reed and Raquel Rodriguez and Sami Zayn. And my questions there were mostly lighthearted because I want them to feel comfortable doing what is essentially going down the line and being asked the same questions the entire time. So for me, it was like, hey, Bronson Reed, you've done the fabled NXT Halloween Battle Royal. Talk to me about that. And we kind of got into that. And then he had tried to order food on Uber Eats the night before. So I was like, did you have Schwartz's, which is a very famous deli in Montreal? And we started talking about food and just like ridiculous things that kind of break them out of their shell and make them feel more confident because, or more, just more comfortable, because you never know down the line if you're going to speak to them again and they're going to be like, oh, I remember this dude. He asked me this. And now I feel comfortable knowing that he's not going to try and take me down the path of weird questioning and try to get a clickbait article out of me, because wrestling's weird like that. You know, people get their guards up and I understand it. So for me, the more comfortable I can make and the more normal I can make these interactions, the better. And, you know, I hate putting over Sean Ross Sapp because he's technically my boss, but that's something I learned from him.
I'll do it. Oh, no, I'm kidding. I love Sean. Well, you know, of course, you're mentioning about what happened up in Montreal as well at Elimination Chamber. And we've been seeing a lot of the international events happening with, you know, what we had Backlash, and we just had Money in the Bank in London, and all these great events up in Canada as well. What is your take on the major organizations taking their cards outside of the United States, and people are raving about the crowds and everything else? And, you know, obviously things getting crazy up in Canada too. How are you feeling about the US maybe kind of getting pushed a little bit and people getting into the international market just a little bit more?
I mean, here, let me put it like this. How much longer is left on your TV deal in the States with WWE? You still got another year. You're potentially outside of your window for USA and Fox. Well, reportedly you are, and you're still trying to find a broadcast partner. Meanwhile, in Canada, you got two people, and one of those contracts is about to be done, and the other one is currently airing AEW. So what do you do towards the end of your contract? You give them a hot crowd, you bring in the executives and say, hey, look what you got here. We should probably bring that to your television station because we can bring you those numbers every single week. You go to the UK, that BT Sports deal, guess what? It's almost up. What are you going to do? Oh, hey, Sky. Hey, ITN. Remember Sky Sports? You used to air all of our shows, and now you didn't because we didn't take you seriously. Well, we brought you Money in the Bank and a hot crowd for 2 nights. Biggest gate in an arena history for WWE. Maybe you should think about bringing us back because we'll bring your numbers. Yeah, you got, you know, the free channels airing AEW, and that's amazing. I'm glad that it's happening. But now it's about how they're playing that game. And it's about getting TV rights fees. It's about getting site fees. That's a big thing that Nick Khan wants to do. And they continue to find success. That John Cena promo has raised a whole ruckus because of, you know, we're going to bring WrestleMania to London. And Triple H, Paul Levesque says, well, maybe not. But also, if enough people leverage their MPs and the MPs say, guess what? Our wallet's open. Let's do it. Wembley WrestleMania 2 nights. We'll do it because money talks. And that's what WWE is all about. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You're a publicly traded company. Make your money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more competition in the international markets all over the world. This is going to be very intriguing because that John Cena promo was done for a reason, for sure. I mean, it was not done just to be cute. It was done to, hey, you know what? If you guys want us to come over here, you know, and look what's going on, and you brought it up. There's a lot of money to be made, and you know they want to get it. So pretty fascinating stuff there for sure. Joel, hey, we got to take a commercial break. Of course, David and Jose, we should do that too, just for fun.
Okay.
Take a breather.
Yeah, so let's get our commercial break in, and when we come back, we're gonna have more with Joel Pearl from Fightful.com. We'll talk to him about what's going on with the site, what he's doing up there, and a whole lot more. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Stick around for the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We'll be right back. If you're looking for an award-winning dining experience at outstanding prices, look no further than Unique Eats. Whether it's their incredible breakfast platters, amazing pastas and sandwiches, or world-renowned pizzas, celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco will have you covered. Check out their coffee and smoothie bar, vegetarian options, catering, and top-flight service. Visit Unique Eats today at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. Call 702-992-3038 or go to uniqueeatslv.com, and we'll see you all at Unique Eats.
The 2023 CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals are coming to Las Vegas. This electrifying match features the region's top nations competing in a must-win match to punch their ticket to the final. Can Mexico return triumphantly and advance in their quest for another Gold Cup? Don't miss the action, and the region's biggest stars compete for North America's top soccer prize. July 12th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Get your tickets for the Gold Cup semifinals at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, visit goldcup.org.
Dear 2030, we look forward to seeing you. After our 160-point quality assurance inspections, we'll be Toyota certified used vehicles with peace of mind riding along. Not to honk our own horns, but the best new cars make the best used cars, and we cannot wait. See you in the future. To learn more about Toyota certified used vehicles, visit toyotacertified.com.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Warning, Carl's Jr.'s char-broiled El Diablo burger is back. Do not attempt to eat this burger unless you like sweating, gasping, spontaneous use of profanity, and jalapeno, habanero, and pepper jack cheese-induced hallucinations. Carl's Jr. is not responsible for grown men crying in public. The El Diablo is back. My rewards members can set their mouth on fire for just $6.66 in the Carl's Jr. app with a one-time offer for an El Diablo single. Tax not included. Limit 1. See app for terms.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Wake up your taste buds with Bluebell Java Jolt, a delicious pint of coffee ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a decadent coffee fudge swirl. It's the jolt you need to perk up your day.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Smith stores and Winco Foods.
In Nevada, anything that goes into the storm drain goes directly to our local waterways, which can pollute Nevada's lakes and rivers. Nevada is the driest state in the nation, and we must work together to preserve our limited water resources for future generations of Nevadans. Here's some waterway wisdom so you can help do your part. Scoop your dog's poop, bag it, and discard it. Clean up yard waste and grass clippings. Wash your car at a car wash or on grass or gravel. Apply pesticides and fertilizers sparingly in your yard. Safely dispose of household chemicals. Clean up leaks and spills. And don't litter. Secure trash in bins. Keep contaminants out of our storm drains. Use waterway wisdom. And remember, only rain should go into the storm drain. Join us in preserving Nevada's waters for future generations by visiting loveenvywaters.com and following us on social media.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Transportation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Home delivered meals, prescription assistance, utility assistance, disability services. Find resources for seniors in your community. Free and confidential help is here 24/7. Download the app. Text your zip code to 898-211. Call 211. Visit nevada211.org or chat with a specialist on our website. Get connected. Get help.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
In a kayfabe world, LasVegasWrestlingScene.com brings you the real story. Las Vegas Wrestling Scene is the source for pro wrestling news, along with their up-to-date events calendar. Visit LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. David Difference.
Oh, what a difference a Dave makes.
It's very different. I just want to warn everybody.
In a good way, man.
It's very different.
Unique.
How do I even top that? Like,
you don't, Jose.
I just can't. I'll take a back seat to that one.
It's almost impossible. But Joel Pearl can do that. Joel joining us here on the Mark Hoke Show from Fightful.com. You know, and Joel, I apologize for blanking the mics early when we were talking about because I was making that it's true joke for a reason. Because my buddy Chris Van Vliet asked Dave Meltzer this week about the star ratings, because he had given Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega that 6-star rating for that last match. And Chris somebody finally asked Dave a question about it, because Kurt Angle has never had a 5-star match. And I'm curious to hear, Joel, your perspective on something like that and Dave's star ratings. How do you feel about that? Because I mentioned going over the 5 stars. It's kind of, 5 stars is 5 stars, best it can get. But some people have had some very low ratings and never had 5-star matches. What did you think of that?
It's a subjective form of entertainment. Wrestling is entirely subjective. I walk into the Art Gallery of Ontario, I point at a painting and I say, that's a 3 out of 5. I can't paint that painting. I can't do that. Wrestling is so subjective, and I appreciate Dave's view on rating matches. I think he has a good scale for him, and I think that it's a good roadmap for someone who's trying to find wrestling that maybe appeals to the same senses of Dave Meltzer, and that's fine. At the end of the day, you're gonna watch what you're gonna watch. Someone who maybe didn't watch AEW Collision this past Saturday, maybe they were watching MLW's Never Say Never show because there was something there that appealed to them, and that was a good show as well. Collision was also a good show, but it's all in the eye of the beholder. So Dave's feelings, he was one of the first people to really get the star ratings over, and as a result, people stuck with it, and they stuck with Dave specifically. You don't see Wade Keller do it, or he does do it, but it's not nearly as important as the weight of Dave's scale. So for him, it's, again, truly subjective. He loves New Japan. He admitted that in that same interview with Chris Van Vliet that you're talking about, and that's okay, because he's still trying to be as impartial as he can, but he still has his scale that runs to him. And there are millions of people doing these star ratings as well that are worth, being paid attention to, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's interesting too when you talk about Dave and Brian Meltzer and guys like that people very much seem to get super divided on some of the things that they say, some of the stuff that we say or you guys say at Fightful, and criticizing, the AEW as opposed to WWE and vice versa. But I personally think this is probably the best time to be a wrestling fan that I can remember. I mean, I've been following wrestling since the early 80s. I know Dave, you're probably around the mid 80s, somewhere in there. And it blows me away that people rip one company or other and just aren't enjoying what's happening right now, because this really is, to me, a golden age of wrestling. Joel, what do you think about that?
Best time to be a fan, worst time to be covering the business if you're a completionist. It is. There's so much content, and that's the name of the game. There's something for everybody. I cover Impact Wrestling for Fightful, and I love most of what Impact puts on their TV, but a lot of people aren't watching it because they feel like after 20 years of watching Impact develop, grow, fall, pick themselves back up, they have a pay-per-view called Hard to Kill because it is literally their mantra over those 20 plus years, that they still appeal to me, whereas they might not appeal to somebody else, and that's okay. I really, really wish people would get out of their heads thinking that the most important companies are the ones dealing with the best ratings. Ratings mean nothing to you. Just watch the show that entertains you. If you don't like something, that's fine. Don't be weird and obsessive about it. Don't attack people over the views of not enjoying a wrestling show. That's something I've never understood. I'm sure I'm guilty of it when I was younger, but like, think about it. Just think about it. Take a step, take a breath, and enjoy the shows you're watching, or don't, and then walk away. That's okay too.
Yeah, and of course you do the great coverage of Impact for Fightful, and they've got Slammiversary coming up, and this is a huge card. If people have not been paying attention and seeing what's going to be happening this upcoming week, man, loaded to the gills. This is going to be a great event.
I am very much looking forward to Slammiversary. It's happening in Windsor, which is about 4-hour drive from me. I'm not going, but I will be covering it over on Fightful.com. Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff. I'm actually interested to see who's going to be replacing Steve Macklin, because unfortunately he was injured during the Australia tour in Wagga Wagga. So they're going to be announcing a replacement, I believe, on Busted Open on Monday morning as to who's going to team with Bully Ray to take on PCO and Scott D'Amore. Rest of the card, though, shaping up real nice.
Well, what are you most excited about on the card?
Aldis and Shelley have suddenly become this big match, and I think when Nick Aldis won that number one contendership match at the last show, people were kind of like, oh god, we're going to do Macklin and Aldis, and it's going to be Aldis wins, and nobody wants to see this. And then they turned Nick Aldis into a real dick, and it was perfect. And then Alex Shelley having that history of being, an Impact legend and finally winning the big one shocked a lot of people, and now they're telling a really good story. Macklin, his time will come back around, especially when Josh Alexander comes back, but that main event is something I'm very much looking forward to. And of course, Lio Rush stepping in up against Chris Sabin for the X Division title is something that people need to get their eyes on.
Yeah, this is going to be a blast. So I recommend everybody check that out. Now, tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing on Fightful, because for people that may not be familiar with your work, well, they darn well should be, because it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. So I am on the main channel, youtube.com/Fightful. Every Thursday night, there is an Ring of Honor Impact Wrestling post show. We combine the two. Myself and my co-host Cresta Star, we cover Impact after the Ring of Honor crew does their show. So that's the main, and of course, all the Impact stuff is there as well. But the main channel that I work on and that I oversee is called Fightful Overbooked. If you go to youtube.com/Fightful Overbooked, you'll find content from myself, Jeremy Lambert, a plethora of other people. We do shows every single day. We drop content every day, sometimes twice, 3 times a day. Jeremy and I do a morning show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 Eastern called In the Weeds, where we kind of get into the weeds, as it would be, about different wrestling programming, numbers, stories, whatever it is, and we interview wrestlers. This past week we had MLW stars throughout the entirety of the week. Court Bauer joined us, Delmi Exo joined us, Alex Hammerstone, and Gene Snitsky joined us as well. That was a hell of a conversation. So I asked y'all to go check that out. And like I said, different people giving different opinions on wrestling every day on Fightful Overbooked.
Now, you and Hammerstone have something in common, by the way. You play a mean guitar, don't you?
I used to. I've dialed it back a little bit. Pandemic was weird in that I was on the road. I was in the States when the world shut down. Had to come across the border at the last second. We were calling venues after every show to thank them, and they say, "Yeah, you were the last show in here for a while because we had to get shut down by the government." So I took a break. So here I am, talk about wrestling instead.
Nice. Can we get a little I see the guitars back there, man. Can we get a little sample? I
would if I could, but then I got to plug everything back in. I got a pedal board down here. The amps are not live right now. Another time.
Excuses.
All right. All good. Well, Joel, if everybody wants to find you on social media, we got about 15 seconds. Tell everybody where they can get you.
At Joel Pearl, JoelPearl, everywhere. That's anywhere you find social media. That's my handle. So go ahead, find me there.
That's awesome. Joel, hey, thanks for coming on the show. We really do appreciate it. It's a pleasure, and always looking forward to seeing your work on Fightful, and always a blast, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, brother.
There you go. Joel Pearl, everybody. What a great guy.
Amazing guest, man.
Yeah, he's something else. And the shows he does on Fightful Overbooked, if you haven't seen them, they're awesome. I mean, just a great time, and he and Jeremy do a terrific job over there. So would highly recommend checking those out.
He sounds like he knows a little bit about wrestling.
Just a tad, trust me. Just a tad.
Little bit.
All right. Well, we know a little bit about wrestling too, and we're going to keep talking about it because that's what we do here on the Mark Hoke Show. David Difference?
Yes, sir.
Jose Volonte?
Yes, sir.
Just doing our thing, man. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more coming up. We're going to be talking a little bit, Logan Paul. little bit of money at Madison Square Garden, all sorts of crazy stuff going on this week in the world of pro wrestling, and two buddies fighting, just like David and I do.
Yep. Yeah. And I want to apologize to the family of Leaping Lenny Poffo.
Yeah, you might have to. That was bad. All right, guys, stick around, everybody. We'll be back on the Mark Hoke Show right after this break. See you at the next hour. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
The Richard Harris Law Firm. No one knows Nevada like we do. Say Nevada and people think entertainment and gaming. But living here is like anywhere else. When everyday people get injured, they don't want to gamble. They call us. 444-4444.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to listen to Breaking Bread with Bono, Dennis's in-depth celebrity interview show from Table 30 in the legendary Bootlegger Italian Bistro every Saturday, 5 p.m. right here on KDAWN.
Right now, save big on Carl's Jr.'s big, bold double burgers for just $3.49. Double charbroiled patties and double cheese on the Carl's Jr. Double Cheeseburger. Grilled onions and classic sauce on the Cali Classic Double. Or a mouthful of fire with the new jalapeno, pepper jack, and habanero El Diablito Double. Carl's Jr. Double Deals, just $3.49. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
We heard you loud and clear. You love the WNBA and want more analysis and insight on your favorite players.
Welcome to Queens of the Court, an Odyssey original podcast. I'm your girl, Cheryl Swoops.
And I'm Jordan Robinson. All season long, we'll be bringing you the post-game analysis that you crave and sitting down for interviews with athletes across the W.
You can listen to Queens of the Court on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Diana. As a veteran, I know that for many servicemen and women, the battle doesn't always end when they come home. Because I too struggle with the invisible wounds of service. Thankfully, I found American Humane's Pups for Patriots program, which brought Sam into my life. Before being paired with Sam, I didn't get out of bed for most days. Pups for Patriots and Sam literally changed my life. Now I'm able to go to the store without having a panic attack. I'm finally able to live my life the way I want to live it. Pups for Patriots provides trained service dogs to veterans like me at no cost. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots service dog program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
A message from American Humane.
Tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? Join Robert Cummings for Retirement and Income Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. on 101.5 FM, KDAWN. And call now for your complimentary customized retirement and income kit and book at 844-725-SAFE.
It's go time. At Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing, we tackle your toughest plumbing and AC problems. Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing, GOETTL, will keep you cool, but it's hard to spell. Visit Gettle.com.
License number NSCB 79415 0079414.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Bound for Buckingham Palace. Fox News signed Therese Crowley. President Biden aboard Air Force One for London.
The United Kingdom and Buckingham Palace will be the first stop on President Biden's 5-day overseas trip, as the White House says the president will meet with King Charles III and the UK's Prime Minister. The NATO summit will be the next stop, as he plans to continue rallying members to continue supporting Ukraine in its war against Russia. The trip comes after President Biden decided to send weapons known as cluster munitions to Ukraine and is receiving some pushback from members of his own party. Support for Sweden joining NATO will also be a priority. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
House Oversight Chair James Comer says we'll hear what he says may be disturbing details on Hunter Biden this week. Comer also pressing the Treasury Department for further bank records. to link Hunter to corrupt Chinese business dealings. Fox's Alexandria Hoff.
You never know exactly what you're going to get with these teases from Congressman Comer, but he does believe that in additional bank records, the committee will find the alleged evidence needed to confirm ties between the Biden family and criminal for-profit overseas ventures. More specifically, Comer feels that banking records will link concrete data to an FBI 1023 form that alleged that then Vice President Joe Biden and a foreign national were involved in a bribery scheme to leverage power for money. Now, for years, the House Oversight Committee has been investigating Hunter Biden's use of his family name in foreign business dealings, mainly in China. Congressman Comer said this week that more findings will be revealed.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. 9 people wounded early this morning in a mass shooting in Cleveland. This time, no one died. According to police officers, responded about 2:30 this morning in the city's warehouse district, just a few blocks from the Cleveland Browns Stadium. Reports of multiple people shot. No arrests have been made yet. The people hospitalized. America's listening to Fox News.
New from the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
And I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
These are the stories that keep you up at night.
Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts commercial-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Dana Perino, Kennedy, Ben Domenech, The Duffys, and many more. Subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. The Fox News Rundown, a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day, featuring insight from top newsmakers, reporters, and Fox News contributors. Listen and subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, let's do another hour. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, and streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks for being out there, everybody. Certainly do appreciate it. And just doing a little switching around here. Dave, I'm doing too much.
Yeah, you are, man. What's new?
Yeah, yeah, that is a
You're
good
out of
point.
control, man.
That is a very good point. David, difference?
Oh, I mean,
what?
We got.
Oh, what?
Oh, what a difference! Oh, what a difference Dave makes. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a shout out to the family of Leaping Lenny Poffo. Last week I said that he was garbage.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. Nah, he's all right, man. He was part of my childhood, but yeah.
Lenny's a good dude, or was a good dude.
Did you know him?
I never met
Were
him.
you a fan? Was anybody a fan of Leaping Lenny Poffo?
A lot of people were a fan
I
of
don't
Leaping
think
Lenny
fan.
Poffo.
Oh, man, I don't know who. Little nerd kids. Can you say nerd kids? Is that?
God, be careful, man.
Is that
That's
a
that
thing,
line.
right?
That's that
Get
thin
canceled.
line right
Get
there.
us canceled.
Yeah, I did have to dump Joel there real quick.
Yeah, I seen that, man. I
Yeah.
seen you tense up over there.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Gotta be. Well, I don't feel like costing the station $100,000. So, no offense. And Jose Volonte in the house as well. What's up, big man?
Hey, man, having fun, man. I'm excited. You guys are making it easy today. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Of course, Jose and I do SportsX Radio here on KDAWN on Monday nights from 8 to 10 Pacific.
Yep.
I hope we're talking baseball this week.
We definitely are.
We should just be talking baseball the whole time.
I think first hour is probably gonna be a lot of baseball, if I'm being honest.
Okay, I think we should.
I think you'll be happy with that.
Okay, so make sure you tune in here to KDAWN 101.5 FM. Of course, if you're out there listening on the Odyssey app as well, Planetary, and if you can pick it up on Mars, do it because it's just that good. So we certainly appreciate it. Oh my God, what a crazy day. Yeah, I was, by the way, in case you didn't know, the NBA Summer League is in town here.
Mm-hmm. Somebody got slapped. or maybe they didn't. I don't know, but no, yeah.
I had a player in my car last night.
Oh, okay.
With a couple of his friends.
All right.
Who?
Can't say, or you don't know who.
I'm not saying, just not a big name. So nobody that anybody will really know.
But if you're
trying
an
to make a
NBA
team
fan, would you know who he is?
Probably not.
Okay.
No, okay. So
Okay.
Is,
So
this, is this going anywhere?
But
exactly, I want to hear this.
But everybody likes to hear these Uber stories.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
So-
but seeing your bumper, I definitely want to hear this Uber story.
One of the people with this player showed me what he did here last year.
Okay.
On the 47th floor of the Cosmopolitan.
Oh.
On his phone with a young
All
lady.
right.
I
Now
was
we're
like,
talking,
Hold
Mark.
on.
Really?
What are we?
Yeah, he pulled out his phone and showed me a video of
47th floor.
47th floor Cosmo.
What are we talking?
Penthouse,
Balcony.
penthouse balcony, wrap
okay.
around.
Balcony.
He got wrapped around. Got it. Okay.
It was yeah. So if you wonder if crazy things do happen in Las Vegas when you're driving Uber, answer yes. Absolutely yes.
So here's the thing, Mark.
Here's the thing. The way
you open this can of worms, man. But look, that's your story of how crazy it gets. Somebody showed you a video of something that happened last year.
Oh, there's other things that have happened in my car.
Well, bring those up.
Bring those up. I want to hear about a video that was just
Oh
that
my
he watched, man.
God.
Come on, man.
Hey,
I
did you
knew
see
the guy
sphere,
for
though?
2 minutes. We're in traffic and he's showing me stuff.
Hey, he's probably trying to show off for his buddies.
Yeah, well.
Who was it, man? Charles Barkley?
No,
I know, right?
It wasn't Charles.
Give us a name, man.
Was he trying to show you his golf swing?
No golf swings or anything like that. But it was an interesting night here in Las Vegas, and there's still a week to go. So
yeah,
gonna be entertaining. Well, speaking of entertaining, guys, and I know Jose, you were watching this on SmackDown, and I'm sure Dave has seen this too. That Grayson Waller got his shot.
Yep.
On SmackDown this week, his first match on SmackDown. I got to interview him at WrestleMania this year.
Nice,
great dude, and lots of poise, terrific athlete, has the look. And when you get your first match on SmackDown, normally it's against somebody who you're gonna beat and la da da da. Let's move on. No, this is what WWE thinks of Grayson Waller. They did his little Grayson Waller effect show with Edge,
which was cool. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I digged it.
And he ends up getting to wrestle Edge in a pretty long match on SmackDown for his first match on there, and he looked great. I don't know if there's any other way to put it, but that really shows the faith that WWE has got in that guy, and it was just an impressive moment for him. And Edge certainly, gave him the rub, and you could kind of tell that he wanted to make sure Grayson looked good. But David, you've been around this business for a long time. How many guys get a debut match like that? I mean, it's very, very few.
Yeah, no, it says a lot about what they think about him. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been out of the loop with NXT. So when he popped up at what was that, Money in the Bank, I was like, who is this clown? But obviously he's been building his reputation. And how's that drink, Mark? It's good. All right. He's been building his reputation.
What are you doing?
I don't know. He's been
unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I can go against Edge for Edge to give him that rub. I mean, that's a good thing, and have a drawn out match. So yeah, they're building superstars, man. I love to see that, because usually it's the top guys that just rotate, around them belts. But yeah, let's bring up the next generation. Let's go.
Yeah, Jose, I know you saw Grayson, and I know that was probably your first time seeing him wrestle too. What did you think?
My impression of him was good, man. I mean, his attitude, the way he can sell and speak to the crowd and actually give a show was really good. I liked it. And the crazy thing to me, though, because I told you guys I used to watch a little bit of the wrestling before, so I knew who Edge was, obviously. So seeing Edge coming out was crazy. Craziest thing about it that I saw, though, is that it's first time for him at Madison Square Garden since 98 SummerSlam. So that's 25 years that he has not been back appearing there. So that was pretty cool. But I think that the fact, like David said, you bring him in to fight someone like Edge right off the bat. And not only that, with the scenario that I just mentioned is too, there's going to be a lot of crowd, a lot of people there excited for him for sure. So it's a good way to bring him in. It's not just a filler. It's not just someone that was there to fight that night to give an appearance. So I definitely believe that they might be doing a lot more with this kid. But I like the little show that he's got, man. The little thing in the stage. I like it. Grayson Waller effect.
Grey's Anatomy. Hey,
Grey's Anatomy.
Hey, so I like when they used to do the sets. Like I remember back in the days they used to have off in the corner, they'd have the barbershop or they'd have
Brutus the barber
snake pit.
beefcake.
Yeah. They need to bring some of those back. I mean, they won't, but now it's just a ring, quick setup, and but when it used to feel like an actual side show. You know what I'm talking about, Mark?
Yeah, I do.
The barbershop was the best.
And it's funny if you remember Piper's Pit way back when.
Yeah.
Those were shot in Hamburg, if I remember, Hamburg, PA, at a little facility. That's where they used to shoot their TV shows for the WWF, and so they kind of had room in there to do that. But yeah, they don't have there's nowhere near as much room to put something like that in. I mean, I'm trying to think like in an arena setting where you could throw something like that up without, blocking the stage up or anything like that.
Yeah. I guess different logistics these days. But yeah, it was it gave it a whole different feel. Maybe because I was a kid too. But like just seeing the set, it felt special, and then hearing the crowd and whatnot.
Yeah, I miss those.
And you got to remember, those type of sets bring back a lot of memories, kind of like what Dave was saying. Like, to me, the barbershop, I'll never forget when Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty, super kicked him through the glass. Like, that's when everything started for Shawn Michaels as a separate individial, right? So that's what I remember when I think of all these little sets. So I agree with you, Dave. I think that they should bring that back and do a lot more of it for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, but also then they had a lot more characters, right?
Mhm.
So you could do the barber, you could do the snake pit, you could do who else? I mean, there was all kinds of shows on Piper's Pit. It was good stuff, man. I mean, it's definitely changed industry.
Oh yeah.
Memories, baby.
Yeah, man. We need to build. Speaking of set, you got hangers behind you, and we got to work on this.
We got to get you a background,
Abe Lincoln back here,
or fuzz you out or something.
We're working on it.
We got to work on this.
There's discussions, but it's funny that you that you mentioned that, because I had I had another topic I was going to go to, but I'm going to go to this one first because we're talking about the Bloodline, and many people have been saying that this is the best story in wrestling of all time. And I got to be honest with you, there's a legitimate case to be made for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am curious to hear your thoughts, and I'll throw mine in too about whether I think that's true. But when you really think about where this Bloodline story has gone and how well they've sustained it, how well everybody has played their roles, and even when they've kind of thrown some wrenches in it, like Sami Zayn, they weren't planning on using Sami for very long in this, and it ends up being almost a year with Sami being involved in the Bloodline. And then you bring in Cody Rhodes, and Cody gets involved in this mess.
Right.
Do you think that this is legitimately the best wrestling story of all time? And Dave, I'll start with you on that.
I think we talked about this a couple of weeks back, and I was like, of all time, there's so many great things. But, if you really break this down, there's so many nuances to this story and different layers, and like the continuation of it. Most storylines is like, let's give it 6 months, let's give it maybe 12 months. This thing has a constant build. And like I said, it often reminds me of like Sopranos or something, where you got the inner workings of the family beef, you got the outside beef, everybody want to take down the boss, somebody, go and get to him, but then different characters pop up like the Sami Zayns. So I think in terms of storytelling overall, like from the arcs and the highs and lows, yes, it is probably the greatest thing that I've seen, because it's been so drawn out, and every little nuance means something. They're not just throwing us crap.
Yeah, I think the one thing that before I can totally brand it that way, I want to see where it ends.
Well,
took the words out of my mouth.
Because the one thing that I think we've seen happen a lot in professional wrestling is when you have these stories that sometimes the ending gets just turned into garbage. I mean, if you think about, for example, the NWO, the NWO is one of the greatest storylines of all time. Who's the third man? And Hogan turns and all hell is breaking loose. But then by the end of it, it turned into, we've got 19 different NWO factions, and Vince Russo's messing it up, and it was just it turned into just something that nobody wanted to watch anymore. You know, and there have been other ones that have gone that direction too, but some have finished well, and that's where what I am looking forward to seeing is what's the last chapter. Jose, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it could end up being possibly one of the best ever, but I think it's yet to be seen, kind of like what you said, right? How are we going to extend this or end this conversation and this whole story plot of how they've already created it leading up to it? Obviously, I got to get backed up and see how it all started to make sure to give my right opinion. But based off of what I have seen and what I talked to you about earlier, Mark, is that I'm feeling that you don't end it here. You have to find a way to continue it with Roman Reigns, with the Usos, and also try to find a way to get Cody Rhodes back in the mix. David said it earlier. Brock Lesnar might not be the guy that they're going to continue to do something with to continue a story with Cody. So I think that it's all going to hinder on how do they continue this after what already happened this past week. If you add more to it and the story continues and doesn't fall off and get boring, then it could end up being possibly, like you said, the best ever.
What do you, David, when you think of some of the best stories in wrestling, what do you think of?
I always go to like Hogan Andre. Like I felt that one. I mean, obviously I was a kid, but I felt like, oh, what's going to happen here? Like anything that evokes emotions, right? And I think that they're doing a great job with that now. But you talk about see how this ends. Like this whole business, this whole entertainment aspect is about the journey, right? So you look at NWO, and yeah, it got ridiculous. But it's the most memorable part of wrestling that I remember, like especially as a teen and in the early 20s, whatnot. So I mean, where does it look at Sopranos? How it ended. Some people were happy that didn't say that that's not the greatest show of all time, which it is.
Wow, there you go.
Based on the ending. So I mean, there's so many. You talk about what are some of your favorite?
It was funny. I was thinking about some of the ones that I think have been the best storylines of all time. And you start going back. I mean, I really couldn't make a fair judgment going back past like 1980.
Mm-hmm.
But you had the Bruno Sammartino, Larry Zbyszko storyline.
Jesus.
You think about that. That sold out Shea Stadium.
Okay.
Hogan and Andre were on that card.
Oh, were they? And
Bruno and Larry were the main event because of Larry turning on Bruno for how popular he was. You think about like Hogan Savage. One that I think people tend to forget about sometimes is the whole thing with MTV and WWE when you started off with Moolah and Wendy Richter and getting into that, which then led into Lou Albano and Piper with the gold record, and Mr. T coming out of the audience, which then led to WrestleMania. I mean, that whole thing, the interaction with MTV and Cyndi Lauper was a huge storyline that led to the age of wrestling where it is today. You have that one, some other ones that stand out, Hogan Savage, Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA was unbelievable. And of course you had like Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, that was one of the GOATs of all time. Because that was a long drawn out story. It was beautiful. That was dope.
Can I go back in the vault and give you one of my favorites?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's the best of all time.
Sure.
But I remember Ultimate Warrior and Papa Chango when they had their little thing going on.
Yeah.
I remember that type of stuff because I remember seeing him on the bed throwing up because supposedly he had a spell on him, and it was, I don't know, I remember that little thing that they had going on. That was one of my all-time favorites from when I was growing up watching wrestling.
Sure. You were a Warrior guy.
I was an Ultimate Warrior guy. Yeah,
I hated it.
Couldn't stand the Warrior.
Couldn't stand get on the ropes. I loved Ultimate Warrior, man.
Can't stand him. Garbage.
Oh, here we go.
Garbage.
Come on now.
Couldn't stand him.
All-time greats.
Garbage.
Come on. Garbage.
Garbage. You know what's interesting? I don't know how much time.
By the way, how many more dead people are you going to throw into the bus, David? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Now, it's Poffo this week, and now it's the Ultimate Warrior.
You just said you weren't a fan.
I was, yeah. Well, I was. I think part of why I wasn't a Warrior fan that much was because I was a huge Hogan fan.
Gotcha.
And I saw what was coming, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I just never liked him. It was. I mean, especially being in that age, I would think as a kid, like I would be captivated by him. But I was a Hogan guy, number one. He just ran around. He was ridiculous. And as a kid, I was pretty mature, man. I understood that he was a clown.
I just didn't see what was. I mean, I got why people liked him.
Yeah.
But in terms of what he was doing in the ring, it, it just wasn't that special, to me. I guess when I was looking around at that in that time period, and I see guys like Ricky Steamboat and Jake Roberts, Hogan and Paul Orndorff and Greg Valentine and all these terrific wrestlers that were out there, and Savage. I mean, that era was unbelievable in terms of the people that were out. And you have Ric Flair and Tully Blanchard and all these terrific guys in the NWA too. And here's a guy that comes out, shakes the ropes, does a press slam,
garbage,
and a splash.
Man, you guys are just dogging on me this morning.
Garbage.
It wasn't. I don't know.
It didn't do it.
I hate to say it, but you know what my
he
nickname
wasn't my
for him?
favorite wrestler of all time. That's what you want me to say.
Oh, that's fine.
He was?
No, he was not. He was not. My favorite wrestler of all time, and will always be, was Jesus Christ, Bret Hart.
Jesus Christ.
I always love Bret Hart.
He had a few 5-star
I always
matches.
love Bret Hart. I always love Bret Hart. So yeah, that was my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, but I always called the Ultimate Warrior the ultimate lunkhead.
Oh, damn. How long were you going to keep disrespecting the dead, Mark?
I know, you over here
Come
talking
on.
about David. You doing
What the hell? Hey, tell me this. I just watched the Lex Luger documentary.
Ooh,
on
I
A&E.
saw that a while.
That was interesting. I think they revamped it some. Like A&E got some new stuff on the bios. Thoughts on Lex Luger's whole story? It's pretty
fascinating.
Yeah, fascinating, tragic.
And the one thing is that with him is that if you see him now, you would never imagine. I mean, I'm not talking about the physical part, but personally, you would never imagine those two were the same people.
Right.
It's amazing the transformation that spiritually he went through. And obviously the stroke completely changed his life, but he was on a bad path, man.
Yeah,
really bad path.
I think the beautiful thing is like his acceptance of this new phase of life, and like from being that guy to wheelchair bound and not looking the same. Like he's embraced it.
It's amazing. We talked about Droz last week passing away, and you go from being this a Herculean like figure to everything gets taken away from you, your career, your body, and everything changes. And then you got to realize, what? There's more to it than that. There's more to it than running around and flexing my biceps.
You're gonna make me cry.
Well, thanks.
Keep going.
Yeah, but
keep going.
But it's, and I follow him on Twitter, and every day, if you would follow Lex, he puts a picture up of something and says, "Thank you, God, for another day."
Another day, thank you, Lord.
Yeah,
and he throws out a psalm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's really, it's amazing that that's the same guy that was the total package running around, back in the NWA and WCW and the Lex Express and the whole thing.
That can also show you that sometimes just because you have fame and fortune, you're not necessarily happy you're living the right life or doing the right things. I mean, I grew up watching Lex too. He was one of the guys that I watched. I remember the elbow with the thing, he's got the metal brace. I remember the whole thing with him so-called slamming Yokozuna, but he didn't really get him all the way up. He did the halfway slam. But no, yeah, it just showed you it's crazy. Because as a kid, I saw him wrestling, and now as an adult, you see what he's going through. So it shows you that everyone's human. You know what I mean? No matter what type of business you're in, you don't know who has demons or what they're going through, man. And he's been through hell and back. And if you see his story, I didn't know there was an A&E show. I got to go watch that. But if you followed his story in general, and like Mark said, if you follow him on Twitter, I mean, it's amazing how, if you just go back to God, how people can just change completely. And I'm not trying to be a preacher or anything like that. But
preach on. It's Sunday, man.
Everyone has to go their own separate way and find their own self. And he found himself, and you know what I mean? It's just, it is a sad story, though. And at the end of the day, you have to be honest. It's a sad story, but it's good to see him, on the right path.
When you look at like a huge inspiration right here in the studio is, I know we got a break coming up, but Mark showing up every day, like the work he puts in, after the type 3 diabetes.
I know,
like
it's hard.
He still shows up, man. And like, he's a testament, man. Like life ain't easy, man, but you just got to keep going, Mark. And I appreciate you. Hats off to you, sir.
Well, me and Mark kind of went viral the same way. We both had some we've asked a question and we had a comment given back to us that we weren't expecting. It's just pretty funny.
So, but mine was a good question as opposed to yours.
Yeah.
What was the scenario?
Let's save it. Let's save that. We'll give everybody a little teaser. teaser. We'll give everybody a little teaser
say
about
that.
Jose Volonte making a complete idiot out of himself. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show. You're the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on KDAWN 1015 FM, Talk of Las Vegas, the Odyssey app, and also streaming live on YouTube and Twitch as well. Thanks for being with us here on your Sunday morning here in Las Vegas and around the world. We appreciate it. We'll see you on the other side.
In a kayfabe world, LasVegasWrestlingScene.com brings you the real story. Las Vegas Wrestling Scene is the source for pro wrestling news, along with their up-to-date events calendar. Visit LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
Right now, save big on Carl's Jr.'s big, bold double burgers for just $3.49. Double charbroiled patties and double cheese on the Carl's Jr. double cheeseburger. Grilled onions in classic sauce on the Cali Classic Double. Or a mouthful of fire with the new jalapeno, pepper jack, and habanero El Diablito Double. Carl's Jr. Double Deals, just $3.49. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
If you need to sell your house,
Talk to Aaron Taylor.
you want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor.
The real estate guy.
Okay, Vegas, time to sell your house fast and get the most cash. The real estate market is heated up again, and here's your chance to take advantage and get top dollar.
We buy all types of properties in 5 days or less. We give cash advances within 24 hours and do all repairs if needed to get you, the seller, the most money possible.
And for traditional sales, we have an amazing marketing team in our corner.
Call today and get an instant evaluation of your home.
Imagine selling your home with the #1 team in Nevada, getting top dollar and having an incredible experience. That's what you get with us, the real estate guys.
Our systems are exclusive to our team, and we have helped thousands of families over the last 28 years.
So call the real estate guys today. 702-310-6683. eXp Realty, license number 38886. Call for details.
Talk to Aaron Taylor.
The real estate guy.
Attention Nevada residents. Education is key to unlocking your potential and achieving success. Unfortunately, 16% of Nevada students do not graduate high school, leaving them at a disadvantage. But there is hope. The Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy, a voluntary and tuition-free educational program offered by the National Guard, is here to help. Using a military model and an 8-core component curriculum, the Academy is dedicated to reclaiming the potential of disproportionately affected youth. The program is designed for those who are dedicated to becoming a better version of themselves. For more information or to talk to the admissions team, please visit our website at battlebornyouthchallenge.org. That's battlebornyouthchallenge.org. This message is sponsored by Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free. Show your pharmacist your digital card and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll, so you can get back to doing what makes you happy.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Get ready for one of the most exciting and interactive events on the pro wrestling calendar. The 57th annual Cauliflower Alley Club reunion at the Plaza in Las Vegas. Meet some of your all-time professional wrestling favorites. Check out the wrestling memorabilia. Participate in terrific seminars and star-studded events, including Tuesday and Wednesday night CAC awards and dinner nights. Visit caulifloweralleyclub.org and get your tickets and membership today. That's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
The bus keeps rolling over me. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I'll tell you.
Come on, man.
Kathump, Kathump. That's what everybody's going to start calling me Kathump on this show.
Kathump?
Yeah, because Dave keeps driving the bus over me.
How I keep doing it.
It's all
Oh,
good.
man.
No. It was just Jose was going to tell me a story, and I had to come back here.
Just cut me off.
He
You
just
saw
cut
that,
me
huh, David?
off. And he just cut you off, and I'm like, I got to come in here. I got to do my job.
Disrespectful.
Man. Well, I didn't say something mean to him to shut him up. I said, excuse myself.
Right.
Yeah, he was kind of polite about it.
Yeah, I try.
I guess.
Oh, Mark.
David Difference. Say it. Come on.
Oh, nah, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, man.
You do make a difference.
I do make a
It's gotta come
difference.
naturally, right?
Once per show, man. Once per show. And definitely not when you tell me to say it. I'm contracted to be able to say it 3 times per episode.
Oh,
I've
that's
already
it.
said it 3 times per episode, man.
Fair enough. Jose Volonte sitting with us today as well.
Yep.
So real fast, you want to tell your story? Just real quick.
So quick, 30 seconds. Last year, WNBA Finals, Sue Bird, last game when she lost, when they lost to the Aces, I was on the Zoom call because I wasn't there in person. I tried to basically ask her a question like, hey, even though you lost, would you have it any other way, right? Do you want to be able to have it knowing it's your last season type of thing, like, freaking hard-fought game? Long story short, I didn't ask it that way. I asked it the wrong way. She didn't like it, and she kind of made fun of me, and then it went pretty viral. And I'm known as the reporter that asked Sue Bird a stupid question.
Hold on.
That's what I am known
as. Zero details in this story. Zero.
Because Mark told me to hurry up.
Yeah, we got it quick,
Mark told me to hurry up.
Go on YouTube.
Now I got to do homework.
All you got to search is stupid reporter. Reporter asked Sue Bird stupid question.
Yep,
it'll pop up.
That's got to hurt, man.
Yeah, no, it actually helped. Hey, good publicity is bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
any publicity is good publicity.
It was bad.
It's okay.
Okay, we can't hype up how bad it was and not talk about it. I mean, come on.
I'll tell you what. When next break, I will find it because our listeners are new to Jose.
Oh man.
Well, I'll see if I can get the audio for you. It's not hard to find. Trust me.
David wants to know already. He's like, no, I want to know what
come on. Jose Volonte, everybody.
Yeah.
So a couple other stories that I wanted to bring up today. And there was an interesting comment from CM Punk. And for those that may not be paying as much attention to AEW as you should have, of course, CM Punk and his buddy and coach Ace Steel got into that big brawl at All Out with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in the locker room that caused them all to get suspended. And now they're like separated siblings that they can't be in the same room, and everybody's, not getting along, and, just HR is on them too. It's just bad. I feel for him. I really do. CM Punk said that he would like to be one of the mystery partners in the Blood and Guts match between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. So, of course, the guys that aren't supposed to be anywhere near each other, and CM Punk wants to get into the biggest grudge match with 2 steel things and face off with these guys in a couple of weeks. David, even though I believe the partners have already been selected, would you think that would be a good idea to put CM Punk in the Blood and Guts match with the BCC against the Elite?
Yes.
You do it that quick?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, let's get to it.
No saving it for a all-in or a pay-per-view or anything like that?
I think just from a fan standpoint, yeah, let's go ahead. I want to see. You wouldn't want to see it. Everything doesn't have to be super built up. I think there's some of the greatest feuds of all time have been rushed.
It would be. I mean, I would say it would be interesting to have him pop up.
Yeah, to watch it, that'd be a moment.
Boy, I'll tell you, Dynamite would go crazy if they threw him in there.
Dynamite Kid?
No, AEW Dynamite, the show.
Oh, okay.
No, but I thought that was really interesting to hear that Punk would like to be in that match. We've been talking about it a little bit that, we really like to see CM Punk and Kenny Omega get together. And obviously Punk wants to make it happen. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. He wants the match. But boy, the Elite just won't get near him, and I don't think AEW wants to get them near each other either. This is weird, guys. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he brought it up, I still think there's light. I know we talked to with Brian Alvarez and said there's zero chance of this happening. I still think there's light at the end of that tunnel, man.
And we'll see. But I thought that was intriguing that he said he wanted to be in that match. But there's a build coming somewhere.
Yeah, I say even him bringing it up, right? It's like it's teasing.
I think they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Why bring it up if you're not?
Right.
I mean, if everything is quote unquote already in the air and you already know what's going to happen or whatever is going to be set, might as well have it going on. Don't just promote it if you're not going to push it.
It would be fun. I want that match so bad. Maybe Blood and Guts next year. That would give this a little time. I don't think you'd want to just throw it out there, but let this rivalry build a little more. But we'll see. Another one I wanted to bring up was, of course, we are seeing on WWE programming this little rift between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Of course, Damian Priest won the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I know David enjoyed very much.
Mm-hmm.
He loved it.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
we had Finn kind of mess up Mr. Priest on when he was challenging Seth Rollins, and now at the pay-per-view, Damian Priest distracted Finn and supposedly costing him the world championship against Seth Rollins. And then here on WWE programming this week, they kind of got in a little tiff. So it looks like we could have a rift in the Judgment Day. Now, it's the same old story playing out. You have the faction and it splits. But here's where I want to take the story a little bit, guys, is this group with Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley is so over right now. I mean, people love this group. And you're teasing breaking it up. And it seems like WWE, and I don't know why when they get a good tag team or they get a decent faction rolling for the most part, that they just seem to love to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a recent one would have been the Hurt Business. If you remember, the Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley and
of course,
and MVP and Cedric Alexander, just destroying that group out of nowhere. Guys, do you think that the Judgment Day should stay together? Maybe they should not do this, or where do you see it going? Dave, I'll throw that one to you.
Yeah, like you were saying, I think that they're always quick. There's always going to be beefy. You even look at the women's Money in the Bank. It's like that now. There's a rift with their little crew, and obviously that's going to lead to something, right? There's going to be a rift there. So yeah, it's just like the same thing over and over again. Let's break it up. Do I want to see them split up? What do I care?
Wow.
Yeah, but it's going to happen, right? I mean, that keeps the intrigue, and then everybody goes their separate ways. I guess that's just the nature of the business. There's no loyalty or longevity to a lot of these factions.
But should there be?
Yeah, that's when it was good. I mean, you look at like DX and NWO, and like that was the good stuff, man. The Hart Foundation, they wasn't beefing with each other.
That's right. Jose, what do you think? I know you're kind of getting back in the swing of things a little bit, but you saw what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna. The question is if and when do they break it up? Because Priest just got the Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? So what's going to happen there? You got to build more storyline to that. Are they going to keep backstabbing each other? They're going to keep going back and forth. If they're going to end it, I think there's going to be a lot more story added to this. It's not just going to end and split up right now, right after Money in the Bank happened. You got to add a lot more to that storyline. You saw what happened when Damian Priest tried to cash in and then they get disqualified with the other fight and everything else. So I just don't see it ending anytime soon. But I agree with you guys. I agree with David. You got to keep it going a lot longer. But he said he don't care if they break up or not. It's going to be a storyline regardless. But I say keep them a little longer. You have to, especially with the Money in the Bank being right there with Damian Priest.
See, I would like to see Finn win the championship, and then Damian cash in on him. That would be a fun way to break it up. Even though it would kind of suck to see Finn.
Story,
yeah, I would hate to see Finn have a short reign like that again. I mean, that would be cruel for him after what happened to him years ago with the Universal Championship. But at the same time, might not be a bad play. Dave's shaking his head. What do you think, Dave?
Amen. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm done with this one.
You're done with it?
Yeah. I like, Yeah, I think at some point. I mean, but like you said, and I think that you bringing that to my attention is like they always riff super quick and split up all these, factions that have legs to them. So go ahead, just get it over with.
Well, and it's funny. They almost, one team that's doing really well right now is Alpha Academy. Now they added Maxine in there, but they almost split those guys up too, and they were huge over. And I just don't. And they just did this thing with Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey when they were trying to build this up as a tag team, and we're going to build up the women's tag team division, and you take your championship team and you destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
What, in a matter of weeks? What's the point? That kind of stuff drives me crazy. I mean, when you think about some of the great splits that have happened in pro wrestling, Jose, you brought one up with the Rockers.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't just happen overnight. You had a nice long build to that moment and did it at the right time. And, and when, like, with the Judgment Day being so hot right now, to shatter it, to me, just seems like just more bad WWE creative. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about Dominic and what he's bringing to the table and the whole crew there. Yeah, it's a good thing, but I don't think they're making. I mean, they're all doing great work. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't know if we bought in like one of the greatest factions of all time. Are you saying that?
No, but but they're building into something really special. I really think they are. I mean, it's such an interesting dynamic with Dominic being so hated, Rhea being so over, and and all four of those guys are really over, to be honest with you. And I don't know. I just hate to see something that has so much potential get broken up so quickly.
So do you think that the fact that they're getting a lot more hate fans, if that makes sense, but obviously the fans are still there, right? The ratings are there, people are watching them, they go against them, so it's good to watch. Do you think that they're watching to see if maybe these individuals can basically succeed alone? You know what I mean? Is that probably why they look at that and break these things up sometimes? But it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes groups are better left alone the way they are. They try to individualize these guys and just, okay, you're a women's champ, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and we're going to make you guys fight and break up. Sometimes I guess it's just best to keep it the way it is and see how long you can ride that train.
And that's my point. Ride it till she bucks you, baby. That's how it goes.
The hell?
Come on. David, I'll tell you.
You're out of control, man.
You're out of control.
I'm out of control.
You're out of control.
This whole damn show's out of control.
Well, let's take a break and let's get it back under control for our final segment, shall we?
Sounds good.
That's not a bad idea. Hey, by the way, I want to remind everybody, if you're driving around for breakfast, get over there to Unique Eats. Say hi to my buddy Dominic Tedesco over there. Great omelets, breakfast, all sorts of terrific stuff. Award-winning pizzas. 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. Just unbelievable food. You will be glad you did. Once again, Unique Eats. You can go to uniqueeatslv.com as well and check it out. We'll be right back.
Infinite Wellness can help you achieve your goals and look and feel your best. Our regenerative medicine clinic utilizes stem cell and exome therapy. We also have a comprehensive weight loss program and numerous other services you can find on our website at infinitewellness.info. We're located at 8925 West Post Road, Suite 100, right across from IKEA. You can book your appointment today by calling us at 702-842-2244 or find us on social media at infinitewellness.lv. We'd love to be a part of your journey.
Las Vegas's CCW Bad Boy is live for an hour of comical insight, debauchery, and rubbing folks the wrong way. Join Nephi Kaliki and the Call the Ambulance, but not for me, guy for the Double Tap Show, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on 101.5 KDAWN, or stream it anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
The 2023 CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals are coming to Las Vegas. This electrifying match features the region's top nations competing in a must-win match to punch their ticket to the final. Can Mexico return triumphantly and advance in their quest for another Gold Cup? Don't miss the action, and the region's biggest stars compete for North America's top soccer prize. July 12th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Get your tickets for the Gold Cup semifinals at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, visit goldcup.org.
Are you, or do you know a 16 to 18-year-old who is falling behind in school? Do you find yourself struggling to keep up, or perhaps often getting in trouble? That's okay, because you're not alone, and help is available. Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy is a voluntary, tuition-free program open to Nevada students like you. EBYCA uses a military structure to assist in reclaiming lost credits, instill discipline, develop self-reliance, and foster a sense of community. If you are ready to accept the challenge, apply now for the new semester class. Check out the website at battlebornyouthchallenge.org. That's battlebornyouthchallenge.org. Or simply search for Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy. This message sponsored by Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
It kind of set me back a little bit education-wise.
I think personally it just changed the way I looked at medicine.
As a people, we have to work together.
Health is a right for all.
We get through it together.
We can find common ground.
We are resilient.
Adaptable.
COVID taught us health matters.
Health matters. Visit nmhec.org. This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health and Equity, and in cooperation by the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
There is no known safe amount of marijuana use during pregnancy. Marijuana is not safe for pregnant or breastfeeding women and their babies. Everything a mother eats, drinks, or smokes affects her developing baby or enters her breast milk. Just like alcohol and tobacco, using marijuana can have negative effects for your baby. Any form of marijuana may be harmful during pregnancy and while breastfeeding. Marijuana can affect your ability to care for your baby or someone else's baby. It is best for women to quit using while pregnant and breastfeeding. If you are pregnant or a new mother using marijuana, you are urged to seek help to quit. Pregnant women receive priority admission at state-funded treatment centers. Visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org. That's SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211. This message sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
Hey, Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free, show your pharmacist your digital card, and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll. Visit ArrayRxCard.com to learn more and sign up today.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The insurance companies say a lot when you have an injury claim. They say you don't qualify. You've been denied. Be patient. But there's one thing they won't tell you. You can get everything you wrote if you call me, Richard Harris, at 444-4444, just in case.
If you're looking for an award-winning dining experience at outstanding prices, look no further than Unique Eats. Whether it's their incredible breakfast platters, amazing pastas and sandwiches, or world-renowned pizzas, celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco will have you covered. Check out their coffee and smoothie bar, vegetarian options, catering, and top-flight service. Visit Unique Eats today at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. Call 702-992-3038 or go to uniqueeatslv.com, and we'll see you all at Unique Eats.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, we're that good. That's all there is to it.
That's all there is. I like how all of a sudden this light is now starting to work as this show's coming to a close.
The light is perfect on you.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh,
You know, Dave, you can open the shade over there at the KDAWN studios.
Hold on. There's a window here.
Turn around.
Oh, you mean this one? Oh, I'm thinking
Yeah.
that wall. I'm like, man, I'm going crazy.
No, that is if Dave is. There's a soundproof wall right next to Dave over there. You can touch it on the live stream if you want. It's fuzzy. There you go.
Fuzzy wall.
There you go. See, that's a soundproof wall. Jose behind you. If you just spin around, see those are shades. Behind that is glass. Look, it's a window.
Nice.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
And behind
You
you,
learn
Mark,
something new every
is a coat rack.
With a hanger with no coat.
I agree. We need some signage.
Okay.
It's little things. Little things. We're getting rolling.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Well, some big things in terms of making money. Boy, some people are making money this week in professional wrestling, guys. Money in the Bank. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
was the most successful and highest grossing Money in the Bank in the event's history. Also set a new WWE record as the highest grossing event in WWE history, while the Friday Night SmackDown from the O2 on June 30th was the highest grossing SmackDown of all time.
Yikes.
Really?
SmackDown Money in the Bank generated a combined gain of over $5.4 million. And Money in the Bank also set new records for viewership, sponsorship, merchandise, and social media viewership, up 17% from last year and 30% just from the 2022 Clash of the Castle show that came out of Cardiff, Wales. Sponsorship revenue up 9%. And July 1st event was the highest grossing arena event for venue merchandise in WWE history.
Yeah, COVID's gone.
Bam.
Right. Yeah.
That's not all.
Oh, boy.
WWE made some more money. How many cards have there been in Madison Square Garden over the years, guys?
Thousands.
Just the history of Madison Square Garden wrestling is incredible. WWE announced on social media following the show, it was the highest this was Friday night, the highest grossing WWE event ever to take place at Madison Square Garden. Highest grossing domestic SmackDown in WWE history.
What are we attributing the spike to?
Probably the Bloodline.
Yeah. I would say it has to be, right? I mean, I guess just more people tuning in.
AEW didn't get lost on this act either, by the way.
Oh.
Of course, we have All In London coming up on August 22nd or 27th. The AEW All In ticket sales at Wembley Stadium have now gone over the 75,000 ticket mark. So they are getting close to selling that show out, and they still haven't announced a match.
That's crazy.
I think the wrestling business is doing all right, boys.
You know what I think that spike is because we really stepped up our game here at the Mark Hoke show. And now there's just a lot more people watching the product.
That's a possibility.
So we need to get our shine.
Yeah.
Sooner than later. WWE,
Yeah.
AEW.
There you go. Just like 0.5%. That's all we're asking. Not much.
Cut the check, man. Shout out to Faction.
Even something with a decimal and a percentage point. It's good. It's good. So, yeah. But big week there for WWE and AEW. Now, this is last thing I want to finish up on, guys, because Jose, it's funny you brought up Bret Hart. Teddy Long was on a podcast with Bill Apter from Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a suggestion for Bill Goldberg's last match because he's apparently going to be retiring soon.
Oh, boy.
Are you ready for this? The name Bret Hart.
Wow.
Of course, we all know what happened, that Goldberg pretty much ended Bret Hart's career.
Teddy Long said this?
Teddy Long. Here was the quote. I was just thinking, the person that I'd like to put him with is the person that really helped him along the way. But I don't know whether Bret wants to get back in the ring, but I'd like to, for him and Bret Hart to have that final thing. He can hang with Bret. Bret would make him look like $1 million.
Jeez. Wow. I can imagine. I mean, that's insane in every aspect of
Oh my God.
Like, what was he thinking?
I don't know. I hope it sounds like that may have been a tongue-in-cheek thing, I think. But
so how would that match end?
Right.
Exactly.
I think Goldberg getting a concussion, probably. Could you imagine if I don't know what kind of shape Bret's in, if he could actually wrestle.
We saw his last match. It was garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, so here we are. What was that? 10 years ago?
Yeah.
So here, I can't even fathom him being in the ring, especially with Goldberg. Goldberg still got some.
Oh, they'd kill each other. They hate each other.
Kill Bret.
No, I guarantee you. I would guarantee you that if Bret got in a ring with Goldberg, that Bret would twist him like a pretzel.
Nope.
It would be bad.
No, wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. Have you seen Bret Hart?
I'm just saying, man. I think the fury of Bret Hart.
The fury.
Sharpshooter.
In a shoot world, hell no. That's absurd.
Really?
Have you seen Bret Hart and then Goldberg? Goldberg still could probably go a few more rounds.
I won't disagree with you on
Brett
that.
was
but,
done 10, 12 years ago.
But I don't think Brett would be a happy camper.
Oh,
I think that would be
it ain't gonna happen.
It would be, shall we say, a calamity. Unlike this show, which was pretty good. I think we had a pretty darn good effort today, gentlemen.
We did all right, man. We did all right.
All right. Well, we want to thank Joel Pearl from Fightful.com coming on. Make sure you check that out and go to check out Fightful Overbooked on YouTube. David Difference, Jose Volonte, thank you very much, gentlemen. Great job today. Had a blast. And, of course, we'll be back next week on the Mark Hoke Show. All that stuff going up on YouTube. Follow us on all our socials. Just look up Mark Hoke Show. We're everywhere. MarkHokeShow.com. Jose Volonte is wiggling his finger. Jose_Volonte. Check it out. David is David Difference on Twitter. So thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We will see you next week on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Have a great day, Las Vegas. Want more of the Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter